What is up, guys? This is David from BRONXBANTER coming at you with episode 5 of the catch up. Super excited to get the season going. Yesterday was opening day. Just excited. Vibes are high. Don't know how it would have been much different of an episode today if we have lost, especially depending on the fashion that we lost in. But we got a lot to break down on yesterday's game, not just because it's any ordinary game, but it was opening day. It was against the Houston Astros at Minute Maid Park. We didn't have our traditional opening day starter that we expected. We have a whole fresh new look in lineup to the team. Different energy, different vibes. Not sure if you guys were able to tune in for that game, but that was so much fun. So as you can see here on the screen, some of the topics we're going to talk about is just an opening day breakdown, but there is a lot to discuss in this opening day breakdown. The next is going to be about how different this team feels, especially you wouldn't get it unless you watched yesterday's game. And not just because we won, but just trust me. Trust me when I say this. The vibes are different. If you can, you should be tuning into every Yankee game. But if you can, especially today, so you can understand what I'm talking about, it's on Apple TV. That it's going to be such a great game. That's why we're also talking about it in our third topic about how important this second game is going to be with Carlos Rodon on the bump. You can see him here on the thumbnail. Juan Soto had an insane first game, and not even an insane first game for the sense that he went 4 for 4 with a home run and 10 RBIs or anything like that. But he helped the team in all facets of the game. Defensively, which we normally don't anticipate with Juan Soto. Offensively, of course, with his amazing eye, getting rallies going. It was just special for Juan Soto. And I think, little teaser, I think game 2 today is going to be a special game for Rodon and is going to be so important for him. Especially important for him to have a good game today. So I'm going to be playing a little bit of the yesterday's game's highlights on the screen. Astros did get to us pretty early. Definitely did. And Nestor Cortez definitely had an interesting start. I remember, I think it was the second inning, already down 4-0. And I could already hear the Yankee fans. What's up, guys? As you guys rolling in, how's it going? Say what's up in the chat. So glad to see you guys in here. But Nestor Cortez was struggling. No doubt, first, second inning, gave off the home run. And I immediately started hearing some of the Yankee fans just getting upset. This is going to be the same Yankees as last year. Just complaining. Obviously, the Yankees offense kind of shut them up. Not only that, but so did Nestor Cortez. He turned it around in the third and fourth inning. And even if Cortez he didn't have a great start, but even if he had a terrible start that led to a loss, I can't be that mad at Nestor. This is the first game of the season, his first opening day game against the Astros, which, regardless of how we feel about them, we can't ignore how good that lineup is. And he has no offense to Nestor, but he has no reason to be the opening day starter. So for him to kind of duke it out even just a little bit against, though Framber wasn't technically the expected opening day starter, to go toe-to-toe with Framber and kind of figure it out along the way and settle down, I'm not ecstatic about Nestor Cortez's start, but I wasn't going to be mad even if it did end in a loss. So I'm just glad Nestor Cortez took the ball, had the right attitude. And one amazing thing about Nestor Cortez's start is that he did something that he barely was able to accomplish all of last year in the little bit amount of time he was on the mound last year. And that was settling down, seeing the lineup more than twice, and being able to respond to that and make the appropriate adjustments. Last year, it was almost the opposite of what we saw Nestor Cortez do yesterday, where he would roll smoothly first, second, even third inning. How's it going, guys? As you guys are tuning in, what is up in the chat? How are your guys' day going? But Nestor Cortez will usually smooth through in the first 2-3 innings, and in the fourth and fifth, he'll start struggling because after some of the hitters start seeing his pitches a little bit more and they get the timing down, then they start figuring it out. Here it was the opposite. Here it looked like he was able to settle down. So that was honestly encouraging despite the 4 runs given up. And again, Joe of the Shift, I think he's live right now, but he was live earlier, definitely. I was tuning in. It's got a great show. He was saying if you paint the picture right, if you ignore that first inning, he went, 3 or 4 innings, 1 earned run? We'll take it. And at the end of the day, we all should expect and know as Yankee fans with our starting rotation, not that it's complete trash, I'm not saying this, but we should go in expecting the offense to carry a bit more than in previous years. That's just the truth. So overall, I'm not too mad at Nestor Cortez's outing and everything that kind of came with it. Juan Soto, give him the contract right now, blank check. Insane in the membrane. I was talking about it earlier in just this episode. He helped the team in all facets of the game. Not sure if you guys follow any Yankees content creators or Yankees news in general out on social medias, but you guys, if you didn't see the game either, he had an amazing throw to throw out the tying run in the 9th inning. Such an important clutch moment. You will eventually see it here on the highlights. I got the highlights rolling here on the screen. And, man, Juan Soto got the first run of the Yankees in the 2024 season. He's gotten walks down. He was doing a whole lot. You see the energy. The vibes are high. This team is looking different. As we head right into the second topic, this team is different. Not sure how many of you guys in the chat saw the game yesterday. How's it going, Yuki? So glad to see you again from last episode. So glad to see you come back. The energy, the vibes of this team is much different. And it's not just because we won. It is not just because we won. You see Ian Hamilton hype. You see Loaizaga, he was hype. You see, I don't think it shows it on the camera too much. Here's the throw home from Juan. Wait, no, it's not. Forgot. Clay Holmes gets into a little bit of more trouble as this inning unfolds. Gets into a little bit more trouble. Bases loaded before Juan Soto makes that tremendous play home. You will eventually see it. Clay Holmes, when that play eventually happened, Clay Holmes was hype, which you don't usually see too much. So Judge was showing off a little bit. Soto was high. Verdugo doing his thing with his swag. The vibes of this team are immaculate. It absolutely is immaculate. You see here how hype everyone is. You didn't see this last year with the Yankees. You didn't. And obviously it's clear with the additions that we've made. And then, yes, Yuki says Oswaldo got help from his grandma and hit a home run. Oswaldo coming in with a very good home run. So hype and glad to see Oswaldo carry the hot streak that he had in spring training into the regular season, which helped the team tremendously. Here we're playing just general Juan Soto highlights as well after the game highlights from yesterday, from last year. And yeah, how's it going, everyone, as you're tuning in the chat? What's going on? Just talking about how immaculate the vibes are, not just from the victory, but just from the vibes of the team, the additions we made. I knew it. This is and again, this is just one game. I don't want to sound like this is the definitive truth, but vibes are high with the additions of Juan Soto, Verdugo having that fire, that passion, that energy we've been wanting as Yankee fans, to being so excited for what Marcus Stroman could bring in the home opener, and the vibes and the energy that he's going to bring, the passion he's already shown, to, I think, it's going to be an amazing second game happening at 8 p.m. or 8:10 p.m. This first game was awesome. What a way to start the season. And yeah, it was just the vibes were immaculate. Another thing I want to talk about how different this team is. Did anyone see, and we saw a big glimpse of this, I guess, if that's even the right way to describe it, of Anthony Volpe's plate discipline. Anthony Volpe's play discipline. We'll play a little bit of his highlights from last year, which we didn't see much of this last year, but so much plate discipline from Volpe. That is, and Yuki says something amazing in the chat, and I agree with you, Yuki. So true. Yuki says, I am not overreacting. If we lose game 2, I don't want to hear fire Cashman or Boone. That kind of rhymed. I kind of like that. Okay, Yuki, I like that. So true. So true. Oh my gosh, you just opened up a can of worms here. So I was getting a little bit annoyed. I was watching the game a little bit before work. We were down 4-0 in the second. And I was going on social media, just scrolling through in the comments of some of these posts on Instagram of people saying another same season. Come on, guys. I know we're Yankee fans. I know we're passionate. But have a little bit more hope or integrity in your belief in the team. Jesus. Especially when it's different if those first 2 innings happened with a Yankee team that did not make any moves in the offseason. Did we not have, in my opinion, one of the best off seasons we could have asked for outside of getting Yamamoto, but we saw how he's been doing. I know some of you want him on to your Snell. I'm throwing that out. I don't care. I don't care for that. We had one of the better off seasons we've had in recent years, easily. And for us to be so quick to just get upset at the Yankee, I knew not to say anything. I knew not to think anything. And here's the thing. A lot of people were also complaining about how many double plays we were getting into and how many times in the beginning of the game we had left the bases loaded. It's a double-edged sword. Yes, it's bad that we're leaving guys on base. Yes, it's bad that we let the bases loaded. Yes, it's bad we got into double plays. But guess what? You need guys on base to get double plays. You need guys on base to leave the bases loaded. And that just shows how many times guys were getting on base. And as you saw, as the game progressed, because it's the game of baseball, something's going to click and we're eventually going to get our shot to cash guys in. And that's exactly what we did. As the game progressed, the bullpen held us down. Nestor Cortez settled it down. The vibes are different on this team. The only thing that isn't too different is Clay Holmes and him giving us heart attacks. That's the only thing that's not different about this team, really. And I know some people are going to point at Giancarlo Stanton not having a great first game, but come on, it's game 1. Game one. But what's no doubt there, and I think is going to be there for most of the season, regardless of our record, are going to be the vibes. And our vibes are, I can't remember the last time the vibes were this high. And it's not driven by us being World Series favorites, because I'm a Yankee fan, but I don't think we're World Series favorites. It's driven just by the passion, the fire, and the emotion of the team. It's just different. Just different. Yuki shares his favorite moment in game 1. I'd love to talk about this before we head into game 2. Yuki says, my favorite moment in game 1, we got punched in the face, but we responded and held the lead. Yes. Yankees last year would have gotten punched in the face and we would have stayed down. Even years in the past. In the postseason, we saw what happened. We got swept by the Astros. The only sign of life we had was in game 4, which we still ended up losing. But outside of that, normally we're the Yankees that get punched and stay down. So that's a great take, Yuki. Love that. There's so many moments to be, thankful for. And even if Juan Soto didn't get that throw across the home plate and maybe we did end up losing or whatever the case may have been, I would still be saying the same thing about the vibes. I would still be saying the same thing about Nestor Cortez and giving him a little bit of grace in his first start and his first ever opening day start, nor not really being a true number 1 starter. I would be saying all these same things. Am I saying it in a much more positive attitude? Absolutely, because we won. What is up, guys? We got 15 viewers in. I think that's on the higher end I've ever had. So if you're watching right now and you're enjoying the content, make sure to like, subscribe, So glad for you guys to be in here. Join me and Yuki in the chat, sharing your favorite moment of game one, your takes on game one. And as we head into the topic of game two, also, I will be saying, drop down any questions you may have about the Yankees, about me personally, about about anything and everything, predictions, which we will be getting into in game two. I also want you guys to drop down your predictions. Just let me hear your voices down in the chat. Down in the chat, let me know what you guys think as we hop into a very important game two. And the guy on the bump is Carlos Rodon. Carlos Rodon is so important in this game. So important in this game. First start of the year, and it's going to be against Christian Javier, which wasn't great last year, but he has done well against the Yankees. Think he had a combined no-hitter, which it just hurts and makes me cringe to even think about. Could we duplicate game one? I don't want to say magic, but could we duplicate what happened in game one? I have a prediction in, and let me know your predictions on game two. I have a 7-4 victory for the Yankees. I got to root for the Yankees. So if I'm wrong, I'd rather be wrong believing that the Yankees would win. 7-4 win for the Yankees. I believe Rodon is going to go 5 2/3 with 2 earned runs. 2 earned runs. That's going to be my take. A little bold maybe from what the Carlos Rodon we've seen in past, or not past, but last year. And I know his last spring outing, people were saying, oh, it wasn't too crazy, it wasn't too amazing. I think he's going to give us those few starts, those few glimpses of greatness we saw in spring training. I think he's going to give us that in game two here. 2 earned runs. And then I think this lineup had moments yesterday with so many on base. I can see that happening again today, but with a real eruption of offense. Yesterday, we saw a lot of sac flies. We saw a lot of runners advancing. We saw moving guys over. We saw just single base hits, which are all fine and dandy. Let's get those runs in however we need to. But I think we're going to see some real hard hit line drives. I think we're going to see some really authoritative at-bats from the Yankees. Another amazing thing from the Yankees last night or yesterday afternoon was the amount of walks we had. Yankees value walks. The problem is that a lot of times we'll get caught looking, or we would have guys that get walks but don't get hits. We had an amazing balance of both. I believe I could be wrong on the numbers. We had 8 hits, 9 walks. It's pretty good balance. I think today we're going to have maybe just as many hits. I don't know. I think we're going to see a home run or 2. I think we're going to see, again, more strong, hard hit balls. Players to watch out for, of course, Rodon. If he's able to give us 5 2/3 with 2 earned runs, I would be not just content, I would be ecstatic. Because I think that would be a better start than he's ever given us in a regular season game. I'm probably wrong on that, but I'm also probably right as well. And I'm super optimistic on Verdugo and Volpe. Watch out for them. Volpe has had amazing, like I said a little bit before in this episode, amazing at-bats in spring, amazing at-bats in walks. Oh my gosh, it's making me so excited to see what kind of player he's going to turn into this year. He was in the game the whole game yesterday. I think he's really going to show up and show out again this game. He's going to get a stolen base for sure. That's going to be my prediction. I think also Verdugo, he's going to get a good base hit. He used to be a doubles machine with the Green Monster in Fenway Park. He may not get him as many doubles as he got last year, but I know he's capable of getting them at a good rate. So I think he's definitely going to get some as well. So I'm excited to see what Verdugo will bring, what Volpe will bring. Of course, outside of the normals like Judge and Soto, they're just going to do their thing. But I'm excited. I'm super, super excited for tonight's game. What is up, everyone? It's gonna be a special season, I think. And it's one game. No, I'm overreacting. But again, if we were looking at last year, and I was last year before the offseason started, and you told me the moves that the Yankees made and the strides that Volpe has made, I would be just as excited, regardless again of yesterday's game. Yeah, so excited. And again, if we win today's game, guess what that means? That means that we already at least bare minimum tie the series. We bare minimum tie the series. I think it's a 4-game set. I could be wrong on that. Maybe it's worth checking. I think it's a 4-game set against the Astros. Let's see here. We have... What do we have here? We have today. We have Sunday. Oh, and then they have an off day. This schedule's weird. I think we only have a 3-game set. So we win today's game, then we win the series, or at least tie it. Sorry, I don't have that news and those facts for you guys. But man, is it going to be awesome vibes to have for sure. For sure. And then we also got the rest of our starting rotation, which I'm excited to see also what Clark Schmidt does. SOTO went insane. Super excited for this game too. Crazy opening day. It's just great vibes. So let's write it. Let's write it right through. Let me know what you guys thought of today's game. Open to taking any Q&As as we chill here a little bit. I just realized I have my Talking Yank sticker on my laptop. I went to a spring training event. They had a spring training live event in Tampa. I live in Florida, so I took the drive to Tampa, and I got to tune in. What's up, Mike? So glad to see you, man. So glad to see you. I'll be honest, we're on the later end of the stream. Not sure if I should stream a little bit longer in general. I try to have the show around 30 minutes. But I noticed that it doesn't give enough time for everyone to tune in. I know everyone's busy. Yuki with the question. Thank you so much, Yuki, with the question. Taking Q&As right now. Taking predictions on Game 2 as well, Mike. So if you're tuning in, if you want to drop your prediction on that. Yuki says, could Juan Soto leaving the Yankees after the season potentially rival the disappointment of Andy Pettit's departure to the Astros as one of the worst days in the Yankees free agent history? Man, I love the way you worded it. I love the way that you worded this, Yuki. May I say, depending on the impact that Juan Soto makes this year, which we know it's going to be a great one. We already see what the heck he's done in one game. We are going to continuously, at this rate, we're going to continuously fall in love. 5-0 Yankees. Let's go, Mike. Sorry, I had to throw that in there. Back to Yuki's question. Sorry if I yelled. Love that take, Mike. Juan Soto. If we continue to fall in love with Juan Soto in the rate that we have been, with the impact that he has made, I think it could be worse than Andy Pettit. Or even, like you said, Bernie Williams leaving. I think it could be worse. Bernie Williams may be tough because my dad's favorite player ever is Bernie Williams. And yeah, but I think it could be one of the worst. For me, personally, it will be the worst. Also because when I was younger, I didn't have too much opinions on Bernie. I didn't have too much opinions on Bernie, and a little bit more on Pettit as I got older, but obviously not in the same way that I have now about Juan Soto. So I think what's going to hurt more is if we make a deep run into the playoffs, but we don't cash in, and then we let Juan Soto walk. Oh my gosh, you're making me feel these emotions I don't want to be feeling. That's a great question. I think it's worse. Not just rival. Me personally, I say it would be worse. Bernie Williams was awesome, man. Bernie Williams was for sure awesome. Ed said, did I record that? Is there a future video about it? Are you talking about just this live show? If you guys don't know, this live show always will be staying up on the channel under the live tab of the Bronx Banter YouTube channel. So if you ever want to go back and rewatch, or if you miss it and you want to watch the first half of this live, you could definitely do so at any point. It's going to be up on the channel. So I'm not sure if I answered your question there. Um, I didn't do also, if you're talking about just if I did a video, Ed, so glad to see you, by the way, Ed. If you're talking about if I saw a video on, or if I did a video on just the game one recap, I did not. Whoa, about the spring training. No, I did not do a video. I did take a photo with Jimmy and Jake from John Boy Talking Yanks. They are, oh my gosh, they're super dope people. Super, super dope. Was so fun talking to them. There was obviously hundreds of people wanting to talk to them too, so it's not like I was sitting down and having lunch with them and just hours on end talking to them. I had a few minutes, and it was awesome getting to meet them. They're super dope dudes. One thing I will say, just to give them a little bit of praise, them and their team, they had their own, everyone had their own cabana, like their own little area where they're designated to sit. Obviously, John Boy Media had their own section just for them. It was kind of in the middle. And they did not once sit in their own section, separated from everyone. They did not once. They were in the middle of the crowd at all times, talking to everyone, taking pictures for the whole 3 hours of the event, over 3 hours of the event. I could even tell the exhaustion that they were probably feeling. Oh man, but they stuck it. They're just awesome people. They're awesome. So if you haven't, obviously, I feel like you guys are subscribed to them or know about them, but subscribe. They don't just make great content, but they're amazing people. Mike says 5-0 Yanks on the prediction. I totally agree. 5-0 Yanks on the prediction. Let's make it happen. You must think that Rodon's going to have a stellar start. I think Birdie's maybe going to get on the bump, Nick Birdie. And if he does, I have high hopes and expectations for him. But I don't know. I just have a feeling that he's going to give up one earned run. I don't know what about it is I think he's going to do. I think maybe because he's trying to figure it out again. I don't know. I just got that weird inkling. I could be totally wrong. It could have been the food that I ate a couple hours ago that's making me feel this way. But there it is. I'm burping. Excuse me. Sorry. But yeah, I think there will be a couple of runs. But shoot, if it's just our pitching could shut them down the way that they did most of the game yesterday, I'll be ecstatic. And I'd love that 5-0 win. That would be so dominating, Mike. I would love that. Man, love it. Mike says Rodon definitely showing up tonight. Let's go. I'm hype. Let's support this dude. Come on. I'm hype. Let's do it. Mike also says Bernie Williams was an awesome player. Absolutely. Yes. And then I'm seeing Ed here about the spring training thing again. Mike goes, not only do the Yankees resign Soto, but they also land Burns. Man, what a prediction. You guys are awesome, I want to say. Lives are just something else. It brings the best, hopefully, out of me for you guys in terms of entertainment and content. But it also brings the best out of you guys. I love chatting it up with you guys, hearing what you guys have to say. You guys bring such awesome takes, realistic takes, some hot takes, some crazy takes, but I love all of it. So, man, if we could land that, I could see that. I could see that. I will say, Mike, to elaborate on your take of Yankees re-signing Soto and Burns in 2025, is that if they do either of those things, we have to say goodbye to Gleyber Torres. We're going to have to. I can't expect that. I can't expect even the Yankees being the Yankees, I can't expect them to do that. We also have some amazing middle infielders coming up in our system. Peraza, if he proves that he's not really injury prone, maybe he could play second base. We also have, John Birdie is going to be a factor in this too. If he has a solid season like he did last year with us, or he did last year with the Marlins with us, he could be a stopgap second baseman. And I know we cringe at the idea of stopgap, but if you think about it, if he could give us 280 average, he hit 290 last year. If he could give us a 280 average at second base, I'd take that. I'd take that as a stopgap. It's not going to be the same as an IKF shortstop stopgap. So I could see the reality even more so of Gleyber not really making it as a Yankee after the season. Would I love it? I'd be open and I'd love it, but I'm not sure, especially if we end up landing Burns and Soto like Mike is predicting. Yuki says, I hope Rodon is not going to dump the bed tomorrow, or you mean tonight? Tonight is the game. I hope not either. And I don't even want to bring it up or throw it out there into the air. I don't think he is. I think he's going to have a great outing. I think the absolute most is he's going to give up 3 runs, 3 earned runs. My prediction completely is 2 earned runs. Mike is thinking no earned runs. And I'm here for it. Even if he gives up 4 earned runs, as long as he doesn't have a worse outing than Nestor, I'd be okay. I'd be okay as long as he doesn't have a worse outing than Nestor. And again, Nestor's outing, for the adding context to the scenario, it wasn't atrocious. If that means anything. Mike also says, if they win this year, look for how to spend. You think so? That's an interesting take, Mike. That's actually a great, man. This is a great video on its own. Obviously, that'll be something we talk about more as the season progresses and we start seeing a little bit more of that light at the end of the tunnel. I would argue opposite, Mike. I would say if the Yankees win, I could be wrong. I could be wrong because we know what kind of run the Yankees went on in the late 90s. But I'd say if they did win, they'd become a little content and a little, I don't want to say arrogant, but yeah, a little stubborn and content in their ways of believing that the team that we ran last year is the team we need to run this year. I do think if they win it all, they will re-sign SOTO, but I don't know if they will spend beyond just SOTO. So, so that's an interesting conversation to have. I feel like there will be a lot of people that would have like conflicting ideas about it. So I think that's a great topic because I feel like either way makes sense to think either way. So like that, Mike. Ed goes, well, oh man, Ed, you're fun. That's good. I like that. He goes, well, I'm John Birdie's biggest hater. I'm just teasing you, man. Oh, that's good. That's funny. Hopefully we get to see him tonight. Yes, he's not in the starting lineup tonight. I was hoping to see him at some point tonight. We'll see. Oh man, that made me laugh. That honestly, that was great. That was great. If you guys don't know, I made an episode on Yankees acquiring John Birdie. I believe that was my last episode. The last content I dropped on the channel. So check that out after this, before the game starts. And I was just talking about how if you do not like the John Birdie trade in terms of what we gave up and what we got in return, then I said you're just a hater. And Ed was telling me how he knew nothing about John Birdie. So he's teasing about how he's the biggest hater of John Birdie. But we know he's just teasing. I mean, I don't think you could really be a hater of John Birdie yet. Now, if John Birdie does terrible for us, then then I'd say everyone is entitled to be a hater. And at the end of the day, everyone's entitled to believe and think whatever they want to believe or think. But man, that was funny. I love that. Mike goes, absolutely. I think you're going back to Hal wanting to spend if we win the World Series this year. He adds on top of this that he believes this will be the case because he wants to concrete his own legacy. That's awesome. That's actually a great take, and I could see that take hold. And oh man, that's you're onto something, Mike. I never thought about this. I have to ponder on this. This is really good stuff to think about. Because you also, another thing to add to your point, Mike, is you have the primes of Garrett Cole and Aaron Judge slipping away as each season passes by. Let's be real. I believe the primes of Judge and Cole after this season, I think they're going to be behind us. Now, do I think they're going to be bad? I don't think so. I think they're still going to be great. They're still going to be good. They're still going to be all-star quality. Maybe, who knows, maybe even still MVP. But I'd be surprised if after this year, Cole and Judge gets progressively better. So, to your point, Mike, and with all the money they've been giving them, I could see the Yankees capitalizing on, if they win a World Series, they're going to want to win the World Series again. And imagine what that would do, not just for his legacy. I guess, yeah, that is the legacy, but what every Yankee fan will think of Hal in the moment if he could bring 2 chips in a row. I can't. There was a stat. I was watching baseball today. Chris Rose was throwing out there that I can't remember, but he was talking about the last time a World Series champ went back to back. It was a long time, a while. Could have been the Yankees, no, or was it not? I can't remember. But if the Yankees could do that in this day and age, where it's harder than ever to win a World Series, let alone 2 in a row, that cements some kind of legacy. So I'd like that, and I'd take that for sure. I'd like that, and I'd take that for sure. For sure, for sure, for sure. Throwing up the highlights a little bit more here. Taking any more questions, as some people are still tuning into the chat. But overall, I guess I'll start wrapping up here. I do want to say, stay tuned for some merch. I have some samples. This isn't going to be the merch. I have been wearing this for a while. I have my Bronx Banter hat here. This is going to be merch. This shirt isn't. I redid the design. I have the new samples coming in, hopefully in a week from now. So hopefully by next live show, you should be seeing it on me. Got a bunch of awesome designs coming in. And then also, I'm thinking of starting channel memberships. I'm trying to get good value for you guys out of channel memberships. Also, what do you guys think? I really want to know your guys' opinion. Let's do, again, I always love doing a little town hall meeting at the end of these episodes. What do you guys think about me making a Discord channel? You guys use the app Discord. If not, check it out. Been thinking of making a Discord channel so we could just have a place, a hub, where we could always just chat it up, text, have live game chat, texting each other. I don't have any plans of doing, unless maybe it's the postseason. I've been teasing at it. Spoilers. I don't have any plans of doing live watch parties. At most pregame shows, maybe postgame shows, but I don't think so. But what would you guys like the idea of, because I'm not doing a live watch party, I just create a Discord and we chatted up in there during the live game. I joined a group chat last year before I even started YouTube, and it was just so much fun being able to talk it out and chat, just kind of like how we are now, except I won't be on camera. We'll just be in a Discord app, Discord chat, chatting it up, reacting live. Yeah, Yuki. Yuki says Discord would be fun. I agree. But he says, but if Discord is not active, then it might not work. Yeah, I know Discord, I've heard, has been having things. But glad to hear that you guys are liking the Discord idea. I definitely want to get that started. I'll figure out some sort of app where we could chat and get a good community and conversation going, because I'm loving the camaraderie, the family we're building together. Ed has a hefty comment and says, going back to Juan Soto re-sign. I think maybe we have a chance after a whole Scott Boras mess. I think I know what you're going to say. Ed, and I love this. I honestly want to talk about this in an episode, but I want to wait till maybe the trade deadline to even bring this up. He says, going back to Juan Soto, re-sign. I think maybe we have a chance after the whole Scott Boras mess up in free agency with Snell and Montgomery. Maybe he thinks about staying put. I don't know. I thought, Ed, you were going to say maybe Juan Soto may think about changing his agent. And this is a hot take. Very hot take. And there's no merit to it. There's no credibility to it other than just my voice and me just speculating, letting a little bit of my imagination run wild. Aaron Judge had an amazing agent that got him an amazing contract. Why doesn't, they're becoming best buds. What if Juan Soto picks up Aaron Judge's agent? If that's the case, we obviously it's just Judge, but we saw the relationship and how that deal turned out. So I would say, as long as we have any other agent other than Scott Boras, representing Juan Soto, we have a better shot at signing him or even signing an extension. But that's just kind of random noise right there. But honestly, Ed, that was an amazing topic to bring up. Who knows? I feel like a lot, not just Han Soto, but I feel like a lot of players that are Scott Boras agents may switch. Because yeah, I don't know. That was a whole, he fumbled the bag so bad this offseason. But yeah, so glad to see that all of you guys are on board with Discord. What's up, guys? As you're tuning in, still tuning in, we already hit a peak at 29 views. Maybe we'll hit a peak of 30 as we hang out here. I also want to know what you guys think. I've been noticing, I've been going live at 6. I know everyone has a busy life. They probably come home from work. Maybe I should go live at 6:30. I was trying to go live at a time before the game starts. So I tried doing 6 to 6:30. If we run a little late, then it's okay. In time before, so we don't interfere with the game. But maybe 6:30 to 7 is better. I don't know. I'm just trying to consider you guys. Any suggestions you guys have of anything that I do, I'm very open to feedback, to constructive criticism. It doesn't bother me, especially if you're not rude about it. I do all this for you guys. I really, really do all this for you guys. So anything that I could do to make content better. You guys, just hearing your guys' takes and everything, you guys are awesome. You guys have great suggestions, great takes. And so keep on dropping them down below. And then Mike says, if Boras jerks the Yankees around and Soto wants 200% return, I could receive Soto terminating Boras. I could. Now, I don't know if Boras would do that, and I'm having hesitancy because we saw how bad he screwed up this offseason. But we also saw how much Boras respected Altuve. Altuve has Boras as his agent. And Altuve didn't test free agency. Signed an extension. Lifelong Astro. May I argue, is that the biggest bag that signed this offseason was a re-signing as a Scott Boras agent, which is interesting to think about. Oh my God. So hold on, I don't want to get ahead of myself. So I hope Boras doesn't get in the way, but I don't know. We'll see. I think Soto should move on from Boras, especially if Soto notices. Like, I'm not Soto, right? Obviously, if I was, I wouldn't be here. But if I'm Soto and I'm in love with Yankee, right? It's middle of the season, trade deadline. In love with the season, in love with everything, the vibes, we're winning, the culture, everything. It seems like he's loving it so far. And you're skeptical on Scott Boras. Why not move to another agent or force Boras to say, listen, I don't care what happens, I'm signing with the Yankees. And I think he could do that. That's Scott Boras's then skill set of having to negotiate with the Yankees correctly, but we saw what happened. He failed in negotiating with the Yankees this last offseason for Blake Snell, and they missed out on most guaranteed money. Now, we don't know if Snell agreed to not go to the Yankees, which I don't see why not, because Snell is super close friends with Judge and Soto, former teammates. But I'm just rambling on here, but that's a great point, Mike. Yeah. Thanks, Ed, saying that great point. I did not think about him changing agents. I think it's possible. And I know someone, I would say for sure, has to happen. There will, and it may not be public. I don't know. I feel like someone's whoever's going into free agency this next year, I feel like if they're a Scott Boras agent, at least one Scott Boras client, is going to change from Scott Boras. I know I would. I personally would. Because that's pretty scary. We also have Burns, that's also a Scott Boras client. So even Mike, going back to your take on us getting Burns and getting SOTO, if we could do that with Scott Boras being both of like having control, not control, but being the representative for both of them, that'd be that'd make it a little bit tougher. That I will say. I hope we can do it, but that'll make it a little bit tougher. Um, Ed also mentions I'm at work right now. The Ed, you're hilarious, dude. I love that. He says I'm at work right now. The hell with my boss. Oh man, well thanks for tuning in, Ed. That is so funny. That means even more that you are tuning in into the chat. So that's funny. Listen, I've been in your shoes before with my other employers, not my current employer. If anyone's watching from my current employer, I work in the hospital, so I can't afford to do that type of stuff now. But when I used to work in retail, I'd definitely be watching the game live. I'd definitely be tuning into live streams and Yankees content before I started my channel. So listen, Ed, I'm with you. That's why I find that's good. That's good. That's hilarious. And yeah. So guys, man, what a awesome show. I think I'm gonna wrap it up here. It was just awesome. It was awesome, awesome, awesome. Nice long live stream. They're getting longer and longer, but it looks like you guys are loving it more and more. So I'm so glad you guys are here, are tuning in. I'm very, very happy about that, and I'm glad you're enjoying the content. Discord must be coming in soon. Then I'll probably be working that right now as I'm watching the game tonight. Hopefully by the next live stream, I'll have updates on that. Yuki, as we close out, man, I want to answer all you guys' questions. This is just so fun. Bob, what's up, Bob? You're in here. So glad to see you in the chat. Let me address Bob first, and then I'll get to you, Yuki. Bob goes, Stanton looked lost last night. Yeah, swinging at ghosts. He's thinking he's done. Bob, I don't want to believe that. Stop. I want to believe. Man, I'm going to take a few seconds to talk about that. I know I talked about Giancarlo having a good spring training. A lot of people talked about how his spring training numbers look good. But if we really look beyond just the numbers, the reason why the numbers look so good is because at his last like 2 or 3 games was when he turned it on. In the beginning, he struggled severely. And yeah. Now that could obviously be on the argument of he's figuring it out, and towards the end of the spring training, he figured it out, and now he's had a good stride. Yesterday could have just been a bad game. But obviously, Bob, I'll be honest, I'm not quick to say that quite yet. I'm going to have to give it at least 2 months, a month and a half maybe, before I start saying if he's done or not. But I for sure said this last year, and I'm saying this again this year. If by the trade deadline he has not figured it out, I don't think you have any choice but to sit him or get rid of him. And especially, I think what's going to be the nail in the coffin for Stanton is how is he doing when Jason Dominguez gets back? That's going to be a big one. Because if Dominguez is doing good and he's on fire, Soto we know is doing his thing. Judge we know is doing his thing. Verdugo, for the most part, we know is going to do his thing. You're going to have to put Dominguez out there. You're not going to sit Dominguez for Stanton. No offense, Stanton. If Stanton doesn't turn it around. So yeah. Yuki says, does Clay Holmes need a new entrance song? He uses Sabbath. Oh my gosh, man, I need some water. That was good. Give me 2 seconds, Yuki. I want to talk. That is, oh, that's comedy. Got a thermal flask, not sponsor. Yuki says, yeah, does Clay Holmes need a new entrance song? He uses Sabotage by Beastie Boys because he's, man, I'm going to add this to your comment because he sabotages the game or our emotions. Yeah, Yuki, that's funny. Oh man, we definitely do. He definitely does need a new walkout song. I don't have any good songs off the top of my head that may be good. Maybe Sweet Victory by SpongeBob or something. something. Get us a victory, close out the game or something. But that was funny, Yuki. I like that. That's true. I never thought about that. Um, so glad, Mike. He says keep it rolling with the live streams. Definitely will. I am so happy to do so. This is probably my favorite thing to do on the channel. So I hope it's one of your favorite things to see on the channel. I can see Dominguez pushing Stanton to the bench. I could see that. So Stanton, I don't think you're listening to this, but if somehow you listen to this, I'm rooting for you. Listen, I don't got money to be coughing up a bunch of jerseys, but I got a Stanton jersey. All right? Like, you are one of my favorite Yankees, if not my favorite Yankee. I want you to do good. And I mean, everyone does, not just because if you do good, we win games. But I'm a huge fan. Huge fan. Even before you were a Yankee, I was a huge fan. So I want him to do good. But if he doesn't, and I think he even will understand this, Dominguez may push him to the side. Or you may see some sort of platoon or something. I don't know. But yeah, Bob says, Bob says, he agrees with my take on Stanton, and he thinks that he will hurt us more than help us. I hope you're wrong. I hope you're wrong too, man. And listen, honestly, that's a great way to chop it up. Because even when I'm talking about Stanton and him turning it around, I don't want to be too optimistic. But so that's why I'm going to say this next part. I think Stanton, even when thinking about Stanton being good, I see more streaky Stanton than consistent Stanton. So to that point, I think he could have super hot weeks and slump for a month, which, to your point of him hurting us more than helping us, I could see that. And to the point also of him clogging up a DH spot, that stops a lot of half rest days for players. That stops a lot of versatility in the lineup and the roster construction, which is also not great. No offense. I hate bringing up his speed over and over again, but obviously Dominguez is fast. Stanton is far from fast. So I could see Bob, your take of him saying he'll hurt us more than help us. And as Yankee fans, we could only hope we're wrong, right? So I see your point and I agree with that. And even Bob, then I like playing a lot of devil's advocate. If you guys want to learn anything about me, I love looking at both sides. I always love looking at both sides. Sometimes it's hard to look at both sides. When one thing is so clear sometimes, like when Aaron Hicks was bad or Joey Gallo was bad, he's just bad. There's no other way to kind of go around it, or no other side to look at. But I could only hope, right? We could only hope that Stanton turns it around, because I know all of us Yankee fans want to love him. So, but anyways, guys, that'll be it. Thank you so much. I swear I said it like 5 times, but I'm just having a whole lot of fun. Make sure you tune in 6 p.m. Eastern every Friday. I'll be live streaming from, 25 minutes to, I guess, an hour, because we almost went an hour here. But that was so much fun. Who is mad at the Yankees that put the second game on the streaming service? I'm kind of mad. I have a hot take. I like Apple TV cinematography, but I do not like their announcers. I'm going to leave it at that. Here is the... Ooh, okay, Bob. I'm sorry. I'm loving this. Before I go, Bob says, here is the answer. Love it. Would you trade Stanton for Dominguez or Dominguez for Stanton? I see what you're saying. I absolutely see what you're saying. And obviously, everyone would take Dominguez over Stanton. That's just kind of no doubt. Even if Dominguez comes back to earth, no pun intended, being the Martian, if he comes back down to earth and isn't as hot as he was when he first came up on the scene, I would still pick Dominguez over Stanton. You also want Dominguez, even if he doesn't get as many home runs or whatever the case may be, you want him to have that opportunity to progress and see major league pitching. So then when next year comes, he's even ready than he would have been beforehand if you had Stanton clogging that up. So I like that take. I like that perspective, Bob. Excuse me. But yeah, That'll be it. Thank you so much. Until next time, great show. So glad to chop it up with you guys. Hope to see you again next week. Bob, next week, Yuki, Mike, Ed. Missing a few other faces like Don. Hope to see you, Don and Donnie. Hope to see you next time. And yeah. Thank you so much, Bob. So glad that you're loving the show. That really does mean the world. I'll definitely be keeping it up for you guys. And as always, and until next time, peace and be blessed. Take care, guys.